All right, Nathan, why'd you start this?
You came to me with the idea of a food podcast, and not from any planning. It came from, we booked a guest and sat down, and you were like, do you have any idea what you're doing? And I started talking. From Rixie, I'm Nathan Rivas, and this is Butter. I've been a professional cook for 3 years. This is a show where we talk to chefs, restaurateurs, and others about how they ended up where they are today.
From Rixie, this is Butter, the fourth podcast from Rixie, premiering March 2nd. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
From Rixie, this is the Daily Rec. I'm Nathan Rivas. My film recommendation for today is Paddington 2, directed by Paul King. I was actually a big fan of Paddington 1 when that came out. My dad did a lot of traveling in his earlier years when I was a kid, and he actually brought me back a Paddington bear. I don't think that's what drew me to the movie. I think I just like kids' movies in general. Just trying to find a good kids' movie is always interesting. So I found Paddington 1, it was really good. And then I watched Paddington 2, and it was absolutely incredible. This is a good movie by any standard, really. The writing is strong, the directing is strong, and how it makes you feel is really strong. Paddington, the character, has no character arc at all. He's the same character from the start of the movie to the end of the movie. What makes this movie interesting is that the way the world reacts when it interacts with Paddington, it becomes a better place, and it's incredible. I recognize that this is a ridiculous recommendation. Not only am I recommending a kids movie, I'm recommending a sequel to a kids movie. But you don't need to see the first movie for this one to make sense. And it's one of those movies, I watch a lot of movies, and I complain constantly about the movies that I watch. Not in a bad way. It's just naturally when I watch something, I pick it apart. Paddington is one of the very few films that by the end of it, I had nothing to complain about. I have harassed most of my friends to watch this movie. In particular, my sister's boyfriend. I remember they would, after I saw the movie, they would come over and I'd be like, hey, what'd you guys do today? And they were like, oh, we went to go see a movie. I'm like, what did you see? And they're like, name some movie. And I'm like, I told you to watch Paddington. Why haven't you watched Paddington 2? And they would always laugh. And finally, I forced one of them to watch it. So I called Darian and I was like, can you please watch this movie and validate everything that I've been saying about it for years?
10:24 p.m., February 11th. Nathan, call with Darian.
So,
Darian.
yes.
I'm doing the food podcast, right?
Oh, cool.
So
I didn't know that.
I'm doing a food podcast. I have to do a
Nice.
week of recommendations. And so they have a podcast called The Daily Rec.
Okay.
I told them that one of my recommendations is going to be Paddington 2. And how many years have been screaming at you to watch this movie?
Quite a few since it came out, pretty much.
All right, can you do me a favor and watch it within the next week or so? And then we'll record the phone call of you saying, yeah, that actually is as good as I was saying.
Sure. Is it available anywhere?
I will buy it for you.
You don't have to do that. I could probably get it on Amazon or something.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. So you and Meg watch it sometime this week.
All right, that works.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll catch you later, man.
Bye.
Bye.
And he did watch the movie, and we're going to call him right now.
Yo,
Hey,
what's going on?
nothing much. How about you?
Doing all right. Just hanging out.
Word. All right, so how was Paddington?
I mean, I know you said it was really good, but it was actually really, really great. I mean, I didn't expect to get as emotional during that movie as I did.
Yeah.
At certain parts, I mean, I teared up at the end, and just the flashback in the beginning. Well, not the flashback, but the scenario where Paddington's giving the book to his aunt. That There's just so much heart in that movie, and I cannot. It's wild.
Yeah, I was actually really impressed with the visual nature of the film. With
It's gorgeous.
heavily influenced by the Grand Budapest by Wes Anderson, almost like a PG version of the Grand Budapest.
Absolutely. It's just the colors were just, everything was so vibrant. You can't feel bad looking at that movie.
No,
you just can't.
Well, I appreciate you finally watching it after what 2 years? Yeah, 2 years. What did you expect from the movie?
I expected a good time. I didn't think it was going to be a bad time, but I mean, I wasn't expecting to be so heavily assaulted in my feelings. I wasn't expecting to feel as good watching it, I guess.
It caught me off guard for sure.
Yeah, for real. It was absolutely spectacular. We would definitely watch it again.
So what would you tell somebody if they were apprehensive about watching this movie?
I'd tell them why. I'd ask them why they are afraid to feel good. And I'd tell them that they need to experience a good, easy to watch story. I mean, it's not serious, and it's comic-y and fun, just to be comic-y and fun. And I think people need to have some of that, I guess, if that makes sense.
Are you glad that you finally sat down and followed through with something I've been begging you to do?
Absolutely. I mean, it is hard to make myself do like something as innocuous as sitting and watching a movie if I don't think about it. But I appreciate you not giving up on me, because I'm definitely better for the experience.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
If you're comfortable just feeling good, wanting to enjoy a wholesome story that you can enjoy all the characters, you can enjoy all the visuals. It's a simple story that can appeal to anybody. And it's more just about, willingness to try something like that, I guess.
All right. Well, thanks for talking.
All right. Thanks, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Deuces.
There you go. A recommendation from Darian, a recommendation from me. If you want to check out Paddington 2, a link will be in the show notes. This has been your Daily Rec. See you tomorrow.